Hi, so nice to see you again. It's been a while. How are you all?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yay!
Top notch.
Top notch. So, hi everyone watching, and welcome back to another episode of Lean Coffee. My name is Jimmy.
My name is Leila.
Jagge.
Anders.
Brilliant. So, let's cut the crap and dive right into the first topic. Welcome.
Okay, so I brought a topic for us to discuss, and I want to hear your opinions. Is it important to interview for agile skills or agile mindset? And I guess afterwards, how do you do it in that case? Yes or no?
I don't know. I have a strong opinion, I think, but it's one of those, it depends. But I don't recruit much or hire, so I guess someone else starts.
Of course, it depends what we mean by that. Some roles are very connected to Agile. If we call it Scrum Master or Agile Coach or something like that. Then we have other roles that could be like connected to Agile in a different way. For example, mindset or values. And if we talk about values and mindset and culture, which is a little bit more fluffy, of course, it's always important. Maybe the most important thing when I look for new colleagues is to understand if they will fit good in what we're trying to create. So it's all. I think from a culture wise, of course, always important. From some specific roles, even more important. At least that they have experience from it, and not against it, whatever that means.
Yeah, I would like to kind of flip the scenario. So looking back, I can see scenarios when you had somebody who maybe were not on board with, I don't think you necessarily have to have all the skill set, but imagine somebody who were not on board with the mindset or the values or the principles, who were like not thinking that that was a good idea. And I've been in situations several times where it's been a lot of conflict with these persons when you're trying to evolve as an organization and you have those principles and values as guiding stars. So yes, I agree. It depends, but if you have chosen as an organization to go that route, I think you should have some kind of base at least.
Yeah, but at the same time, I know when people write that they have some agile skills, maybe some experience in that, or maybe Scrum Master, whatever it could be. It's almost like when people write that they have some, programming skills or working with tools. So like, it's like, yeah, of course you have that. If you have worked a couple of years in this business, I assume you have it. So why do you write it? It's more like if you're a good programmer, you can learn React or Node or like Angular. It doesn't really matter. It's the same with Agile. If you have the right mindset, it doesn't really matter if you call it Kanban or Scrum or Scrumban or Safe. I'm not looking for those kind of things anymore because that's
I think you're right, and I think that's what I was interviewing for before. Was more like, have you done these specific flavors of Agile, or do you understand specific artifacts or forums of Agile? But now I'm looking for more for, I say, the mindset or like skills of do you know how to do good teamwork, or do you know how to really slice a big problem into smaller chunks?
And also, if you want to get stuff done, do you kind of resort to micromanagement and taking charge, or do you actually distribute ownership? And do you believe in that? Do you believe in collective responsibility, or does it have to be a single wringable neck all the time? And kind of these basic values, because if those are mismatching, you're going to have a kind of a cultural clash. I think a great PM has, yes, a lot of agile techniques and skills and whatnot, but those can be taught. You can't teach passion about the product or service.
Yeah, and I also think that sometimes I would maybe prefer to hire for like the really base mindset and principles preferred over maybe somebody who's really like method strong in Agile, because that could also be a clash. So I would prefer to hire somebody who doesn't even know, as you were saying, Anders, maybe what Agile is, but could do it in, if we describe the behaviors.
How do you feel? 90 more seconds?
we agree too much on this topic.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So first topic for this episode is closed. Moving on to the next one. All right, second question for this evening. I guess it's a yay or nay. Would your family, parents, grandmother, grandfather be able to explain what you do at work? Oh. No. Okay, one. Yay. Yay and 3 nays. I'm winding up the timer and I'm starting it. Anders.
Good for you, Anders. Good for you.
I guess my grandparents wouldn't have been able to at all. They know I do computers-ish. But that was a long time ago. But my mom worked with computers a lot and with leadership in different flavors. So she would definitely understand it. My dad used to work with organizational development and change management. So that's also pretty close.
Yeah.
And I'm running a research study with my sister on change management in hospitals. So she definitely now understands what I do and vice versa.
When I started out as a developer, that was tricky. I program, I code. It's like a magical mathematician who makes stuff happen on the screen. Oh, brilliant. Then you can fix my printer. But no. But now I'm an agile coach. So what do? I help people be smart or move forward, or it's turned immediately into fluff. But now I've tried to explain that fluff for so long, so they might be able to make a comprehensible description, I think. How about you, Jagge?
Isn't this like the typical scenario for this fluffy occupation indeed, that we cannot even explain in simple terms what we are doing?
Yeah.
It's because it's so complex, Leila. That's the thing. It's
yes.
What of course one part of it is that it's very diverse. You do a lot of different things, of course. I would say another part, I try to explain it as first of all, no, they can't explain what I'm doing. They think I'm fixing TVs and stuff like that. That's basically, I'm good at that because I can read a manual, like everyone should be able to do. But otherwise, what I'm trying to see myself as a organizational architect, maybe. So system architect, and an organization is a system itself with information and power decisions and stuff like that. And you can organize that and see bottlenecks and performance load and stuff like that. So I'm seeing my
kind of reasoning.
Sorry.
And by this time they haven't zoomed out.
They have. I never talk about that anyway, because when they ask what I'm doing, I'm saying I'm working with computers, and then move on.
So funny thing, when I started to work with HR, for many years, my brother, he thought I was working with hair, because in Swedish you say HR, and it's very closely related to the term hair. So he actually thought I was working with hair for many years, that is. Wow. Until I was like, no, I work with people. Oh, you do with hair? No, I work with people.
Amazing.
Yeah, I usually started out with kind of similar jargon. So I'm kind of a catalyst for change. All right. So what do? I coach people. You teach them how to code, but no. So, well, sure, if you get an hour, I might be able to explain kind of how I work and what I do and what I don't do. Oh, so you're the leader who steps in and make things happen. No, not that either. Damn it.
So wait, stay there. Let's talk more.
You should tell them that you just remind people to talk to each other.
Oh, yeah.
But that's I think many. I think that's why it's very diffuse when people look for this type of jobs. I didn't know that this existed when I was done in university. So I think it's part of that it is very like business oriented, very hard to understand what it could be, and also if you look at the more classic software developer role, that's also some changing to more something else.
1, 2, and how do you feel? It was what? So three up and 1 down. All right, I'm adding 90 seconds. who were talking? Jagge.
I'm going to
Yeah.
interrupt you, because you just triggered me in saying that the software developer role is changing, and I definitely agree with that. But it also reminds me that I have this theory that I'm trying out with every QA engineer and every designer that I'm meeting, or used to at least for a while, and they never agree with me. But I think those two roles for a long time were merging, where design used to be, before you actually built the thing, and then it kind of slid more and more closer to being as you develop it.
Yeah.
And you combine it with following up and seeing how people actually use it, and likewise the QA parts wasn't like after we finished the product, but slid more and more into understanding what is the problem we're trying to solve for the users here. So I think deep down they're all the same role.
But
It
also, another interesting thing is also this gap of like when you're in like the university even, and that world, and how you picture working life and what people actually do, and that giant gap until when you're actually out in business and doing things. And it's I've been doing a few things for students because I think that's really valuable. They really are so eager and so interested, and they have like no idea what they're walking out into. So I think that is also very interesting, how they are supposed to transition in a good way when there's such a void in between.
Time to vote quickly. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Second topic closed. Next one.
Okay, so my topic today is one of these cliches that people always mention. When we talk in the Agile world, we often talk about failures, and failures being the first trials towards success, and we need to have psychological safety, and it's fine to fail, and blah, 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 blah. But honestly, think about this. Is it always okay to fail?
Yay, nope, no. Leila, you. Question mark. Timer is running.
Shoot.
I'm going to shoot. Yes, it has to be. Otherwise, if it's never okay, then it's going to create all weird kind of habits and the survival habits and whatnot. But sure, you can fail, you can fuck up, you can screw up. And if you know you're about to screw up and not telling anyone, well, there should be consequences. Sure. So maybe that's an extreme.
So you just change your mind?
Yes.
So I think I kind of agree with you in general and in theory that it should always be okay to fail, and I think it is for most people and in most circumstances. But what I've found is, as a manager, that I often find that we work with some topics that are so sensitive that it's just not okay to fail. And also there are some changes that are that you can't go back on. So if you want to try having transparent salaries in your company, that's an interesting experiment, but it's not a safe to fail experiment because you can never go back from what you learn. And so if you want to get to a safe to fail world and be in a company where it's safe to fail, you also need to learn the skills on like how do you actually build experiments that are safe to fail.
Yeah. I think every single deadline or whatnot, you need to be allowed to fail. However, if you don't learn from it, if you don't try to correct or listen or being transparent, then you have double failed, and that's a no-no.
Then you're out.
Then you're out.
3 strikes.
You actually changed your mind though, Jimmy. Yeah.
It's okay.
Again, twice now. Okay. Yeah.
Twice. No, but okay.
I'm out.
Of course, consequences is always. That's the whole idea by fail safe, I guess. What's the consequences? And I don't think everything has a consequence, even if you have fail safe. You can go, how far can you go? And learning is also an aspect you can have, like you need to learn about the failing. But some things I agree that it's not okay, especially for me, that you fail in life, because I should be able, if for example, if I'm raising my kids, some areas I can't fail in. Like this is my duty. Will I learn from it? Sure, but I'm just I need to handle this. This is I can't do it wrong. if I do it wrong, it will be consequences, sure. But some things, it's not an innovation, it's not a trying thing, it's not experiment, it's just get this thing right or done or whatever. So
But even with that insight and conviction of putting down the work to read up or research or explore options, once in a while it's gonna result in failure.
Of course.
But I also think there is some cultural aspect to this. So my experience is that in some organizations that I've been in, there is, it might be outspoken that it's okay to fail, but you can strongly feel the consequences of when it actually happens.
Yeah.
And I think those organizations are so much, there are so much more organizations that acts like that than what people think, because
and those examples, they are going to become campfire stories by the coffee machine. So okay, the PowerPoint said this and the manager said it should be safe to fail, but you know what? Did you know what he or she did? And so that's how people learn what's really acceptable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the
exactly.
thing is, I even those things I strongly believe myself that I shouldn't fail in, that I say this is not an area that I should fail. I always fail in those areas also.
Yeah.
But I tell myself you cannot fail now. And some other areas I says it's okay, experiment. So what I mean by fail safe, I put myself in the idea that no, this is an area I should be able to solve. But I fail anyway for some reasons. But it's still not okay for me that I fail in this area. Do you know what I mean? Some areas is like experiment. I don't know even what's going to happen.
I think there's a difference here between results and behavior too, where whether you reach results or not that should always be fine with failing. But when it comes to the behaviors you're showing, that's at least less okay to fail. Of course, you can have the wrong behaviors, and you should be open to the feedback on them. But like the behavior of actually taking that feedback is something I would expect of my colleagues, and if they show that they can't, then that's, I guess, not okay.
There's a very clear distinction between those two. Like you have results that you can never, I guess almost never at least, be 100% in control of, because there are so many external factors that are like affecting my circle of influence might be low, you know. A pandemic might happen. Who knows? But your behaviors is something that I know that not all people do have that self-leadership or self-awareness, but at least it's something that I can, with feedback, start expecting from you to be able to control.
I have more. This is cool.
It's a big topic.
Yeah, I was thinking about. Sorry, Jimmy, talk.
No, sorry. Okay, I'll be quick. I think for me, that's the core. If you fail of being transparent with challenges or fear of not reaching your commitment or promise, that's a no failure. And another no failure for me, kind of you're out, is that okay, this thing didn't go as planned, and I failed to reach this and that, and not acting responsibly afterwards, kind of following up and communicating and trying to resolve and learn from it. Those are two no failures from me.
But your first no failure here, the one where you
Jagge was referring to results or deadlines.
Yes, but
the things beyond your control.
Yes, but if you didn't like let people know that things were not going your way, etc., that could also have a system aspect to it, that you're in an environment that you know that you will get punished for saying that you're not getting so far ahead as you should, or it's similar. Is it still a no for you?
Then I think then I would put the no on the leadership above that have created that kind of super bad culture.
Okay, I have an assumption here that I'm going to share, see what you think. Like people that talk about fail and people that really eager to make a good work or have that sense of ownership. they're also very good in acting in fail-safe environments. So for example, people in this room we're having a chat with now, I feel like all of you are very comfortable in failing. At the same time, you're very, very putting a lot of effort to make a great goddamn fucking job, to not fail. But you fail anyway. So what I mean is that you don't, inside of your brain, you don't want to fail because you don't think that you want to do a good job, but still you're failing. So what I'm saying is that no, we don't think it's okay to fail, but we fail anyway, and then we keep failing, but we don't. Otherwise, you will just go out there and that's, oh, what happened? So all of it put too much effort to do a great job,
But
avoiding the fail, but we failed anyway.
Yeah, but something I would like to see out there is more discussions about failure and mistakes and la 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 la. I had this lecture the other day, and you know, when you do these things, you can show the grand picture of the fabulous story with everything working and perfect and fine, and you know, come into my pink fluffy cloud because everything is perfect in this agile world that you're entering. But I did actually choose to tell like my not success stories, because I'm so sick and tired to hear all of these success stories all the time. And I'm thinking I can't be the only person who feels like I'm failing 80% of the time and succeeding like 20-ish. And I know that I have high standards and high ambitions, so I know that I'm not crap, but still it happens.
As the host of the show, I'm cutting it here with those quotes from Leila. We've extended this topic 3 times, so it's time to move on to the fourth and final topic for this episode. Thank you for a great discussion.
Wonderful. So the last topics then. Now it's salary times. First quarter of the year is always that for many companies, 99%, I guess. I know probably all of us have been part of this in any role, with either as a manager or employee, whatever that means. And I would say it always sucks. And it's so bad. No one is happy. Everyone has expectation. It's almost like you open up the Pandora's box every first quarter of the year. And the salary levels is always low. And the thing is that you tie up the whole company for the first months of the year to focus on this shit. Why are people keep doing this? That's what I wonder. Because no one is happy. No one cares. Is anyone seeing this same problem?
Yeah, definitely. The way most companies are doing salary reviews is just demotional for everyone. Best case scenario, I'm not pissed off. That's the best case scenario.
Yes.
I've poured energy and frustration, and I've been worried and sleepless. Both the employer and the employee, by the way. And
also HR, please do remember.
I disagree. I think the best outcome is that your employees feel that they are fairly compensated and that they trust that they have a salary that reflects the impact they're having. And I think that takes a lot of hard work. I know I spend a lot of time on setting salaries, but I think the outcomes, when you can really be open with people and say, like, here's how we do it, here's how we adjust our biases, here's how we take your impact into control, here's how we get feedback from everyone and takes that into account when we set your salary. It's worth it, I think. And it can be a powerful tool to get people not motivated, like the salary in itself isn't motivating, but they feel that it's motivating, that we care about getting to fair salaries. And
I think that's a key to success, being transparent about for everyone how the process works and what people are in general are evaluated on. So it feels like a fair process, not the whim of the hippo. I think that's
and it should reflect back to. So I think the important ones are the like performance reviews and talking about like, here's the impact you're having, here's what we and connected to feedback, like here's what we would like to see more.
So I had all roles. I've been employee, I've been HR supporting the salary process, I've been manager, I've been middle manager in between, you know, the budget stakes up and low and blah, 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 blah. I'm doing the more transparent style. I've done all kinds of different rewards in compensations, like not like everything else. But I would say like it can work that way, Anders, that you're referring to, but it's so rare. And it's also so many different persons with so many different motivations, thoughts, preferences around this. So usually when you're looking at the whole organization, it's maybe like a maximum of 10% that you're able to create that like a good experience for. And then the rest is like, yeah, I think Jimmy said it the best. At its best, not pissed off. But I think the worst part is with it actually is what Jagge referred to, all the energy. Like just imagine all the focus that this takes of an organization, everything you lose in productivity because you're just trying to get this working in a good way. And the ridiculous thing is that there are so few examples of organizations who have succeeded to like innovate in this area.
Talking about energy, Jagge, I felt you had a lot of energy inside you when you brought up this topic.
Yeah,
What's the alternative?
as Leila said, I probably I probably have all roles right now at the same time. So I feel the superiority is about that companies. When I talk with people, they say, "Yeah, I see the problem, but nothing's happening. We just keep doing the ceremonies, the process, the systems, and like tweak it and like." But we don't look at as a business perspective. Is this actually what we want to do? Is it what we are producing? And the year is not that long. In Sweden, we have vacation 50% of the year anyway. So then we focus first quarter on this. It's the wrong thing. I do agree, Anders, that if you can work with like motivation, that we should always do, but not in the sense of salary system process. I think just keep, I don't know how to do it really, but right now it's not right, at least.
But I think the stupid thing is not only also how much energy and time it takes from a business perspective, but the stupid thing is that we keep on working against Einstein's ideas of doing the same thing and expecting different results. And not only that, but we're also working towards research within psychology, like what research actually says motivates us and how our brain works and how this trigger our threat response. We're just working straight towards all science within this area, and we're not like in every other case we listen to science and we do different things, but not regarding
I don't. Perhaps there are science that gives an answer to what you would do instead, because we need to pay people, and we generally don't want to pay them everything like everyone the same salary. So we need some way of setting. You will have different salaries, and here's how we reach that decision. And I don't know, I don't have any good ideas for how to do that unless we spend energy to actually make it fair and equitable.
I agree.
I joined this meetup actually the other day about compensation and benefits.
Hashtag no salaries.
A new thing.
9 more seconds, okay.
So I joined this meetup the other day about salaries and complement, and there was this actually book in German called New Pay, where they did social experiments to ask a bunch of people. They tried to do the full transparent self-leadership thing, but they did this as a research subject and just to see, what would happen. And they asked people, okay, so how much do you think you should have in salary? And what this study actually showed in the end was that people was asking for too little. So that was an interesting study, and I think there are some more things happening within this subject now, but it's been an area that hasn't been developed much at all. If you look to
of course we need to pay people, and of course it's always a problem. I'm not saying this however I turn this is always like, what is fair? That's the problem. What is fair? Nothing is fair. Who decided what's fair? But the thing is, for example, you can make it simple, not make it more complex than it needs to be. For example, negotiation is a bad thing because it shouldn't be about how good you are in that. It should be about that, because then some people get more because of that reason. That's not fair. I think another thing is that don't put the expectation that you will get a salary raise every year. Who cares? When I'm going in, I say I'm getting paid for the job I'm doing for so long. Why the expectation that we can't meet every year?
What do we do? Your topic, Jagge.
Yeah, I think we probably are done. We need to
Final
take
words
another
from you,
side
Jagge.
topic on this in the
Alright.
future.
What's your wrap up, Jagge? What's the
Yeah,
The wrap up is that it's problematic for people, but it's possible. It's never going to be easy, but make it simple enough.
So thank you. That was the fourth and last topic for this evening. Should we? Yeah, let's do the traditional key takeaway. What's buzzing through your heads after this these chats? So briefly, what's buzzing in your head, Leila?
I'm thinking a lot about fails and those stories and how we are meeting each other and setting standards within the area, maybe unconsciously. So I want to open up that discussion more and more in companies.
Anders?
Yeah, I'm also thinking about the safe to fail, and I think we keep saying that because it's a very catchy phrase, but I think we really mean like expect to learn or something different actually. I'm not saying it shouldn't be safe to fail, but I'm saying that's not actually our goal.
Yeah. Jagge?
I was in the same area. It was interesting to first of all understand that no one really knows what we're doing. That was interesting. Obviously, I don't know either what I'm doing. But other one is that fail, and I'm still. I would like to talk more about this idea of. I don't think it's okay to fail all the time, but that doesn't mean there's not safety. But it's not always okay to fail. That's just two different things for me.
And yeah, I'm also on the topic of safe to fail. And as you pointed out, Jagge, I'm an achiever, I guess, a completionist, and I'm always suffering from the imposter syndrome. So sometimes I'm working really, really, really hard to make the best out of things. But then again, when it happens, when I do fail in the moment, I find acceptance in it, and I find acceptance in others. But while preparing for it, failure is not an option. It's so weird. So thank you for pointing out that hypocrisy within me. All right. Thank you all for a great session.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.